Good afternoon. My name is Zaid Kayal, and this is paper number 110, titled Adaptive AI Coaching for Cybersecurity Analysis of Resilience Against Phishing and Deepfakes, co-authored with Professors Jan Troyer and Peter Rolofsma from VU Amsterdam and the Hague University of Applied Sciences. This study explores how real-time AI coaching can strengthen human resilience against phishing and deepfake attacks through a simulation-based analysis. The rise of generative AI and large language models has made phishing attacks far more realistic and scalable. Since ChatGPT's public release in late 2022, phishing incidents have surged by over 1,200%, with nearly 74% of all phishing emails in 2024 exhibiting some use of AI. Deepfakes further amplify this threat by allowing attackers to mimic faces, voices, and gestures, such as in the 2024 Erupt case, where a deepfaked video call led to a $25 million fraud. And despite over $200 billion spent in global cybersecurity investment in 2025, most of this investment remains focused on traditional technical defenses, while human error remains the leading cause of breaches and remains overlooked. So this research focuses on the human dimension of cybersecurity and aims to model employee behavior under conditions such as stress and message quality. It evaluates whether an AI coach can adaptively reinforce secure decision-making through simulations in MATLAB, which capture dynamics of learning, stress, and decision processes over time. Traditional cybersecurity training is often ineffective at addressing the human factors behind secure behavior. Static programs like SATA tend to lose impact within a month, and one study even found that nearly 50% of employees quit these training sessions within the first 10 seconds, and fewer than 24% actually completed the training. By contrast, in another study, AI adaptive training reduced phishing susceptibility by 72%, improved response time by 50%, and enhanced secure knowledge by nearly 50%. AI coaching provides personalized real-time feedback, helping employees adapt and make secure decisions more consistently over time. This study uses adaptive network-oriented modeling to simulate behavior, learning, and meta-learning over time. And in this framework, each psychological or environmental factor is represented as a state. Each influence is represented as a connection, and both states and connection strength evolve dynamically through first-order and second-order states. And these networks are defined by three key characteristics: connectivity, which states are linked in what direction; aggregation, how inputs are combined; and timing, how fast each state updates. Three core combination functions are used in this study. The alogistic function is used for modeling learning processes. The stepmod function is used for periodic triggering effects, and the stepmod op function is used for inverse periodic triggering effects. Two models were designed: a baseline model without intervention, representing current static cybersecurity training, and then a second model that integrates an AI coach providing adaptive real-time feedback. And these models are based on two key behavioral frameworks: the Combi model and the dual process theory. The Combi model explains behavior as a function of capability, opportunity, and motivation, represented in the models by states like threat recognition and emotional reactivity, which shape how the employees respond to phishing attempts. And the dual process theory distinguishes between system 1, being fast, automatic, and emotion-driven, and system 2, being slow and analytical. And phishing tends to exploit system 1 through cues like urgency or authority, represented as external context states in the model. And to reflect this, the decision to act has a lower activation threshold than the decision to report, showing how impulsive reactions often override rational judgment. The first model serves as a baseline, showing how employees learn and respond to phishing threats over time. And it has three layers. The first, the base layer in pink, includes internal mental and external context states that drive decision making. The first order layer in blue, which contains W states, and these states adapt connection strengths through learning, modeling how experience shapes behavior. And finally, the second order layer in yellow includes an HW state, which controls the speed of learning, influenced by states like stress, self-efficacy, and threat exposure. Now, in essence, an employee receives static cybersecurity training that develops their capability, opportunity, and motivation states. These states in turn influence the secure behavioral attitude, which, along with the belief in message, determines whether the employee acts or reports. External factors like message quality affect belief and decision outcomes, while stress weakens learning and performance over time. The HW state regulates how quickly the employees adapt, showing that high stress or low self-efficacy can slow learning and increase vulnerability. Overall, this model illustrates how dynamic, psychological, and contextual factors shape decision-making in cybersecurity. The second model builds upon the baseline by introducing an AI coach. Now, structurally, the AI coach mirrors the employee's model with the same base level states and first order W states. However, its learning states are fixed at the optimal value of 1, meaning the AI coach has perfect learning and does not forget over time. And to coordinate communication between the AI coach and the employee, we introduce 2 monitor states, X54 and X55, which continuously compare the employee's decision to the AI coach's decision. And whenever a deviation is detected, for instance, when the employee makes an insecure choice, these monitor states activate the second order WWW states. And these states then enable the AI coach to communicate with the employee at the first order level, adjusting the employee's learning process without directly overriding their behavior. So in other words, the AI coach doesn't directly control the employee's decisions. It only facilitates adaptive learning, intervening only when necessary to reinforce secure behavior. Now, simulations for both models were run in MATLAB using identical parameters to ensure a controlled and fair comparison of the employee's behavior before and after introducing the AI coach. Each simulation ran for 2,500 time points and included 17 phishing attempts to track how learning and decision-making evolved over time. This graph shows an overview of the simulation results for Model 1. It displays all 33 states across 2,500 time points. And as we can see, most states increase sharply at the beginning of the simulation, reflecting initial learning. However, we can also see that they gradually decline over time due to a steady increase in stress level X25, which weakens learning and performance over time. And to provide a clearer view, this graph focuses on the first order and the second order states over time. We can see that the employee's learning increases significantly during the first 600 time points, but then declines as the stress level X25 rises. Meanwhile, X33, which represents the speed of learning, fluctuates throughout the simulation but remains constantly below 0.01. While these fluctuations are subtle, they still influence the overall learning dynamics, preventing drastic changes while gradually shaping the learning curve. Now, this graph shows how the mental states evolve over time. They closely follow the patterns of their corresponding W states explained in the previous slide. We can see that training exposure, X2, plateaus early, while rising stress levels leads key states such as X3 to X6 and control states X7 to X8 to gradually decline. As a result, the secure behavioral attitude drops sharply after time point 1500, eventually falling below 0.1 by the end of the simulation. Here we have the external context states and the mental state, X19 belief and message. And this graph shows how X13 activates phishing attempts periodically, which in turn triggers X14 through X17, which then shape the message quality X18. Now, since all the connection weights for these simulations were set to 0.5, message quality remains at a moderate value throughout the simulation. Here we can also see that the belief in message X19 starts dropping early as secure behavioral attitude increases, but then rises again towards the end once that attitude begins to decline. And finally, this graph shows the employees' behavioral states, which are mutually exclusive. And early in the simulation, we can see that the employee tends to act on the phishing messages, but as learning improves, reporting behavior becomes dominant. However, as the stress increases later in the simulation and the secure behavioral attitude declines, After around time point 2250, the employee begins to act again, which reflects a loss of resilience. In Model 2, the AI coach's learning states are fixed at 1, which allows its mental states to stabilize very quickly. And as a result, the secure behavioral attitude for the AI coach remains consistently high throughout the whole simulation, which leads to steady reporting behavior for the AI coach, with only a single early deviation representing initialization. For a clearer view of the communication control system that we designed, we can see how the AI coach intervenes only when the monitor states detect unsafe behavior. And this is visible through the 3 activations early in the simulation and another one towards the end. Now, although the employee's W states still degrade over time, they do so much more slowly than in Model 1. And as a result, the employee's key mental states and their secure behavioral attitude remain stronger for longer, demonstrating the stabilizing effect of the AI coach over time. In terms of decisions and behaviors, the AI coach clearly improves performance. Now, compared to Model 1, the employee reports far more often and acts less frequently. In the last 3 phishing attacks, where the employee previously acted in Model 1, they now chose to report, with only 1 late deviation, which was corrected directly after. Now, this pattern highlights the AI coach's selective intervention, which effectively slows behavioral decline and promotes secure decision-making over time. Now, to take a closer look at the effectiveness of the AI coach under different conditions, we conducted a what-if analysis and a risk assessment. Now, the what-if analysis examined how 2 key if factors, the stress level threshold, which represents stress resilience, and the quality of the phishing message, how these 2 if factors influence the what factors, which are the employees' learning and their decision making. Now, each scenario is assigned a likelihood score as well, which allows these outcomes to be integrated into the risk assessment that follows. The what if analysis revealed a clear improvement when the AI coach was introduced. Without the AI coach, employee learning peaked early, between 0.6 and 0.9, but then dropped sharply, sometimes reaching as low as 0.07. And this decline led to more insecure decisions and a stronger tendency to act instead of report. However, with the AI coach, learning peaked higher at around 0.95, declined more gradually, and in many cases even recovered over time. The final learning levels with the AI coach ranged between 0.3 and 0.9, showing a sustained long-term benefit. Now, although the AI coach didn't eliminate insecure behavior entirely, particularly under high-quality phishing messages, it consistently increased reporting frequency and reduced overall behavior risk. For the risk assessment, each factor from the what-if analysis was categorized by learning and decision outcomes. Now, W state values below 0.35 were labeled as low learning, while values above that were labeled as high learning. As for the decisions were classified as either act or report, and each factor was given a risk score from 1 to 5, where 1 represents a secure state and 5 a severe risk. Now, under these criteria, Model 1 showed a learning risk of 3.25 and a decision risk of 1.9, while Model 2 dropped to 0.0 and 0.21, showing a clear reduction in risk severity. Now, this assessment follows the ISO IEC 27005 framework, which defines cybersecurity as a combination of likelihood and impact, ensuring that the results are structured and comparable across contexts. To conclude, Model 1 showed that secure behavior declined significantly over time under stress, even when the employees begin with strong initial training. But in contrast, Model 2, when an AI coach is introduced at the first order level, demonstrates more stable learning and improved decision making. In the most challenging scenario, the employee reported 6 out of 17 attacks with the AI coach compared to 0 in Model 1. The risk assessment further confirms a substantial reduction in both learning and decision-related risk, underscoring the AI coach's effectiveness. Now, while it doesn't completely eliminate risk, it represents a meaningful step towards adaptive human-centered cybersecurity. And overall, these findings highlight the growing threat of realistic AI-driven attacks and the urgent need for intelligent interventions that can support human decision-making under pressure and stress. While these results are promising, they should be interpreted with caution. The model simplified complex realities. For instance, stress was treated as a threshold variable when in practice it's shaped by culture, workload, and personal factors. Phishing message quality was also limited to a few cues when real attackers have a much wider range of tactics. The AI coach was also modeled with perfect knowledge, which isn't fully realistic due to technical limits and possible false positives. So future research should validate the model empirically, test team-based coaching, and integrate adaptive coaching into existing awareness programs. And finally, I would recommend adding a decision to ignore state, which could make behavioral modeling more realistic and prevent overlapping monitor activations. Thank you for listening. In this project, the VU Amsterdam worked together with the Hague University of Applied Sciences. And have a nice day.